All right, and we are live. What is up, party people? Hello, my friends. It's your girl, Welcometochynna, and we are here for a new season. Now, you guys, it was like a part season, part getting it together. Y'all know how it goes, but I'm here for season 1.5. Episode number 4, and I have a very special guest today, y'all. This is Diva Dive, where we take deep dives, but with divas, boss women who are here in the industry talking about different things. But today in particular, my guest here is probably going to be my favorite guest yet. So I'll let her explain what she does. Introducing Miss Leya Nicole. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Leya.
Hi, guys. So I'm Leya Nicole, and thank you so much, China, for having me on your platform. Now, if y'all didn't know, I do talk about true crime and missing, but I mainly focus on Black and brown victims, meaning African Americans or Afro-Latinas or Hispanics, mainly minorities that are mainly overlooked. So that's basically my channel.
And that is her channel, and that is also a guilty pleasure of mine, true crime. So long story short, y'all, which I was explaining this to Leah, we have never met before. I was a random lady in her DMs like, please, can I talk to you about this? It's been about a week, and it was a case of Marty McMillan, which was a solved missing case, but it was with a Black man on a dating app, and he ended up, unfortunately, getting murdered. So with that being said, I went on a rabbit hole, everybody, of videos that Leah had, different solved and unsolved cases. And I was so moved that I wanted to have her on for our opening of Diva Dive. So Leah, I want to say I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to learn more about you. And we're going to get into it, y'all. So let's get started. So the first question, and you gave us a little precursor, is, who is Leya Nicole? Now, y'all, I told her as much as she wants to share, but, let us know a little bit about you. What made you want to get into YouTube? Who are you? Let us know.
All right. So first and foremost, my name is Leya Nicole. I am 25. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I have a newborn baby. Her name is Kaylin.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The reason why I got into YouTube, first of all, I've always loved YouTube since I was in college. I always used to watch different type of YouTubers, but honestly, it wasn't until this year where I got into the true crime world and missing of YouTube. And what really, I guess, prompted me to do YouTube and start was the George Floyd, what happened to George Floyd. But prior, I was already watching Brittany Vaughn, Danielle Hallam. I was already watching true crime and missing cases, but in the back of my it's not a lot. But I was always realizing, dang, where are all the Black people? I'm sorry, but I was really okay, where are the Black people at? And every case that they would do, if the victim was Black, I'm automatically, I guess it's relatable because they look like me. So, and I started really thinking, it was on my spirit, maybe I should start. I've always wanted to do YouTube, but I always said if I'm going to do YouTube, it has to be something meaningful. I can't just upload a video. It has to be something meaningful. Yeah. So I was talking to my husband. I'm like, babe, do you think I should do it? And he's like, go ahead. If it's on your spirit, go ahead and do it. So I'm like, you know what? I already see there's a disconnect within the community. Our African American cases are never told at all. It's either ignored or it's people will talk about it for a couple days, a week, and then it's gone. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just cater my platform to African American and minorities, which is Leya Nicole, Black and brown victims matter. And really, that's how it started.
I love that. Now I have to ask, so you said that, you sat on it. It was, I don't know if you use these words exactly. It was on your spirit. You were really honing in on that. What was the first video that spoke to you to make that step? Because I know starting YouTube and content creation, it's always that first video. So what was that first video for you? And tell us about how did it go? How did you feel? What was it like?
Okay, so basically you're asking the first video I've ever seen that encouraged me to start YouTube?
The first video, I'm sorry to specify, the first video that you have ever posted on YouTube, what was that process like, getting that first video out?
Okay, so first of all, the first video on YouTube that I ever did was actually, it wasn't a true crime video. It was something about like music, like your underrated artists. Like, I love music, first of all. So I was talking about underrated artists like Ari Lennox, Solange. But meanwhile, all these girls that I'm talking about are really into, I guess, Black excellence and love it themselves.
Yes. They are
Ari Lennox. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just talk about my favorite, artists that I like to listen to. It was something really small. But then I started watching other true crimers and other, the Danielles and Bailey Siri, and I'm like, I could do this too. I'm like, no, I could do it. So I'm like, right. So I was telling my husband, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, like, if I do this, I want to showcase that Black girls can talk well. We can do our own research. We can do the same thing that they're doing as well. And I remember when I first uploaded my very first case, was actually Erica Hill Deserved Better, which was a young Black girl that was killed by her mother. And she was being abused. That was my very first case. And I remember like doing the research and actually feeling very emotional about it. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? No, I got to do it. And I had that video already done, but I was letting it sit because I was so nervous. I'm like, I don't know. I was just so so cautious about everything. Yeah. But I just uploaded it and then I just kept on going. I saw the feedback. Other people were like, oh my goodness, finally a Black girl true crimer. And when I saw that, I was like,
that's really it. That is why I literally binged all of them. And it's true. My mom and I watch true crime and we always send the cases. It seems weird because it's almost like, it's not like, it makes us excited. It is just, it's a psychological thing. Somebody, I always, we're like, oh, it's a Black woman on this case. I'm sending my mom 2020s and Datelines. Oh, it's a Black lady, or watch this case with this Black woman. Mm-hmm. Also, something that I wanted to ask you about on that topic of, talking about Black and brown people in true crime is, I can never, when I go deeper into cases that I hear about on Facebook or, we see different things on our Twitter, different cases. I can never even get a lot of research online or information. So I feel like with other white people of other races, it's just much easier to even find. So I'm curious, is it harder for you, for example, to look at cases? Obviously, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Girl, yes. When I tell you, it's like, it's very annoying and very disheartening and sometimes it can actually get you into some trouble a little bit with, I guess, information because you don't know, like, okay, for an example, the Marty McMillan case that I just did, that case, there's barely information on it. So I'm pulling from news, like the news report, I'm pulling from articles, and I'm trying to just fit everything together. But it's so easy for you to miss little information unless you literally have a family member and you're interviewing like how me and you are being interviewed, honestly. So in a lot of cases that I've done, like, unless I get a documentary about it, like the Alonzo Brooks case that I did, which was actually a case was on Netflix, and his case was so easy to do, which this is a Black man, actually. Alonzo Brooks is on my channel. He went to a party. It was an all-white party, and he disappeared. No one knew where he was, and he ended up finding. People found out that he died, and everyone's like, well, how the heck did he die? I mean, I know someone at the party knows something. So yeah, that's the case of Alonzo Brooks. Now that case was so easy to kind of do and find information because there was a whole documentary on it. So it's easy to like get all the information I needed, get pictures. But for the most part, a lot of the cases that I do, there's barely any information, which is very upsetting. And that just shows you that, investigators, journalists, they don't really care like that.
They don't look deeper into the cases in depth. Yeah, and then people don't have a lot of the time the resources. We're from different communities, underprivileged. It's a lot of things that go on, in our communities that are disadvantages in us even getting the information out. Something else that came to my mind when you were speaking about that is that case in specific that we were just speaking about. What is the young man's name?
Alonzo Brooks.
So. Yeah, that case, it's almost, I seen that you made a post on YouTube about, fact checkers and people, finding information. So that was a couple days ago. What made, how much do you talk and defend, your work and what you're doing? Because I know that people will be like in the comments on some of the million YouTube, you missed this part, you missed that. How do you handle that? Does it bother you?
Sometimes, like early on, like if I miss something, I used to get very emotional about it, because when I'm doing this, I really care about what I'm doing. Like I take this shit personal. Nobody knows that. Like behind the scenes where I'm crying about a case and I'm telling my husband, like, and I'm mad. I'm like, how the heck can they do that to us? And all this type of stuff. And then in front of the camera, I'm calm, but behind the scenes, it's a lot. So when someone says, well, you mispronounced the name wrong or this and that, I take it to heart, but I'm humble about it. I'm like, okay, next video, I'm going to go ahead, or I'll put it in the comments. All right, this is what happened. And then there's those other comments where it's kind of like, they're trying to check me about how I talk, or they're trying to check me about, like little information that I really couldn't find. Yeah. And sometimes it's annoying because it's like, well, dang, like I'm doing the best I can here.
Yeah. And I hear YouTubers, that I watch with true crime and different things make those disclaimers still. Like, listen, I know that it may not be, everything there. I've tried my hardest, because it's almost like you're making those Netflix documentaries for us. You're presenting that unless it's already cases. So a lot of the time, these true crime YouTubers, they take the easy way out. They get the views, they're popular cases. And I feel like at the end of the day, when you are really doing this and content creating for true crime, you're also doing research. Like you're not just regurgitating. Yes,
there's so much research. What we do, like other true crimers, or this, like what I do. Yeah, there's a lot of research, like a whole week of research. But the thing is, because of the minorities, there's not much information. I have to dig. Like I have to dig and dig and dig and just try to put everything together to make sense. Sometimes I can't even find information about the victim's first name. Like there's some articles where it's just the last name, and I'm like, okay, what's the first name? How old are they? They'll just say 14-year-old boy killed, like very inconsiderate things. And I'm kind of like, well, dang, now I got to find another article where I'm like, okay, who is this person? I'm intrigued with the story and the case, but who is this person? So yeah.
They don't even the name. And that would make me upset. I feel like that would make me emotional. Like the name, like they don't even have the dignity to put the name the name of the person. Everything else that has happened to them, all those horrible things, but the name is not even, Yeah, it just shows. That's crazy. You said that. I've never heard anything like that before. But just taking it in, I'm like, wow. So,
like one time, it wasn't that far ago, but this other content creator, I ain't gonna say no names, but this other content creator, they wanted to talk about the Kendrick Johnson's case, right? Yeah. But the title said something like, "Boy found in a gym mat." Or like something very insensitive. So I commented, I'm like, first, his name is Kendrick Johnson. If you're going to do a case, make sure you put his name out there, because no one's going to really know who he is unless you put the name in the title at least. Exactly. So
yeah, that's what, again, that case, I feel like that case is going to eventually, I said it when I was today, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, so we're talking about it now. So yeah, I feel like it is too.
So we're already taking a step further with more people doing true crime, more people of color, and staying on.
Yes, more people of color, please.
Yes, please. So, because it's a lot of things that I watch, and I'm like, I can bring more awareness. I do kind of different content and still finding, what I like to do on here. So it was so refreshing to be able to have this conversation. My next question now is, has true crime always been a passion for you? Were you a true crime watcher? Like, was this something personally that you liked, or was it just really because, it's just not a lot of recognition?
Both. I've always been into like law and order, forensics. Like I wasn't the best high school student, but my forensic class, I got an A. I was like, oh yeah. And there was once upon a time where I'm like, should I be like, should I be into like law or like, forensics and things like that? But college was never like my thing. I always felt like I wanted to be a creator or, something like that.
I relate, obviously. I can relate.
Yeah, I've always been like, I want to be a creator. I like movies. I like to put things together. Like I've always, so to put together, I guess, editing and creating your own videos and also true crime is just an ace for me. So
but I was always so you fell into it. It was like wow. And then that's so cool. We talked about this a little bit, the importance of Black and brown cases. So now we're about to get a little bit deeper. I've done some diving. I'm a conversationalist. I'm a researcher.
Right.
I think that you posted a video a couple months ago of a screen recording from an Instagram post, of you not defending your work. I don't want to speak for you, but the backlash of you just speaking about Black victims. And I wanted to open that conversation, what you wanted to share. To me, it was interesting that people gave you backlash, but for me, I, for example, did a case about a country singer named Morgan Wallen saying the N-word. And I got terrible backlash from people who didn't look like me. Of course. So it was counterproductive in my mind of like, why does it matter? But I wanted to know, I'm being nosy. Was it people like us? Like, why are we only talking about us? Or was it others who don't get it?
It was others that don't get it. I actually had one today.
What did they say? I'm curious.
Yeah, I actually had one today, and she was pretty much stating, "Oh, you're the reason why there's like division, and y'all are always trying to play the victim card." And she doesn't look like us. She's Caucasian. Let's put it that way. She doesn't look like us, and she's having all this energy behind the video. And clearly, when I start my videos, I'll always say, hey, if you want to bring awareness for Black and brown victims, I never say this is a Black thing, y'all not allowed. No, that's not even the case here. It's just I witnessed something and I'm like, okay, Black and brown victims, they need a voice too. There's so many other platforms. We have Bailey Steering, we have Daniel Halam, we have all these other YouTubers.
We have so many girls.
And it's like, why can't we have a Black platform? We have BET Network. But usually my actually subscribers, they usually fend for me. Like they usually in the comments, like, first of all, you're not gonna get it, so don't even bother. And sometimes I really have to like kind of step back and not take it so personal, because this whole thing has been something for generations, division and racism and just a lack of empathy or care for us, really. So this really runs so deep that sometimes I just leave it alone, because I can't fight every battle. Unless God changed their heart and they deal with God, because they will, I'm gonna just play my part.
Especially as your platform grows, you start to have supporters and people who support your work. I do find that those are the people who are like, yo, listen, this is not the case. I understand. And you would think quite opposite. That's why I chuckled when you began, like she said that you were bringing division, because it's almost like it's just bringing awareness. A lot of people can embrace these things and be like, whoa, I've never realized that the true crime that I watch is only white people or only, so-and-so different people. I remember in specific, it was one Dateline episode that I watched about an Indian man who was in college. It was the case of a college frat in Illinois. I went to school in Illinois, and it was, I don't remember what college, but he went missing and he was murdered, and his mother was fighting for him. I'll send you the case. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
But she was like, long story short, she was fighting for him. She did a lot, but he was Indian. I've never even seen a true crime case with anyone who was Indian before.
Yeah,
and it was the same, it was the same case and very similar to the one we talked about a little bit earlier with being on campus, being Black, being in different, we can get into that, but
yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, so I don't even take it personal. And honestly, if those same people, like if you go on and listen to like other true crime YouTubers that aren't Black, they would say when they're covering a Black case, they would literally say out their mouth, sorry, guys, there wasn't much information about it. So that's just proof there that, look, there's not that much information on us, people that look like us. So
yeah. And I'm sure that shies people away as well from different cases or what's easy and different things like that, you know. So it's like, you know, you can't find anything. They know the fans are going to be like, yo, this isn't concise, it's touchy. So I get it. So why not we do it? I feel you on it. So that's why we have platforms like yours, and it came across my recommended. So you doing your thing, girl. I type in Black true crimers. You know, we mentioned it before, but it don't come up. But I'm still binging on your channel, so I got more than enough. So the next thing I wanted to get into is, we kind of touched on it before, you know, the haters, the naysayers. How do you mentally deal with it in your mental health? You know, for me, I like to take a shower. I like to bath. I take edibles. It kind of depends on what relaxes me, because people will get me so riled up. Yeah. But how do you turn it on and off? What is your, you know, let's talk about the mental health aspect, because you still do true crime and comments.
Yes. Okay. So first thing first, I want to address that at the end of every video, I always pray for the families, victims. I've said that from the jump, like, hey, if you're not religious, that's okay. But I am, and that's something that was on my spirit to do. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and pray at the end of the video for the families, you know. But the reason why I did that was because no one knows, when I'm doing a lot of this research, it's very heavy on me. Like, I'm waking up thinking about it. I'm going to bed thinking about it. Throughout the day, I'm telling my husband, like, yo, that was crazy, right? Like, and he's like, babe, you still thinking about that? I'm like, yes, because it's crazy. Like, it's a lot that goes. Yes, it sticks with you, and then you get so connected with the victim, and it's personal. So for me, that's why I always end my videos with a prayer. It's really for my sanity, to kind of just calm everything back down, give people hope that, hey, this is gonna work out. We have victory at the end. It's okay. And then also for my self-care, yes, I take hot showers. I put on my SZA, my Janae Aiko.
Yes,
house is clean. Yes. You know, just kind of chill. Sometimes I do put my phone away, you know, for the day, because it just be a lot, the comments, and sometimes just kind of put it on the side, and, you know.
Yeah. And also something that I did see is you reached 80K. So congratulations to you for that. Like, that is such a
80K? Where, girl?
You said it was like 80K views.
28K.
28K views.
We're gonna pray for 80 though. We're gonna pray for 80.
We're speaking it into it. I'm a Christian. We'll speak it into existence. It's coming. It's coming. But that's still great. I love to see that. You have videos that have, girl, tens, thousands of views. So it's still, and I don't know, to me, not to be biased.
Started too.
Yeah. How long has it been exactly? Like a year yet or no?
No, it's not even a year yet. Girl.
It's a need for it. You see, you found your niche, and anybody who YouTubes and do these things, we're getting to a little YouTuber talk.
Yeah.
You have found your niche. It was a niche. It was a need for it. And that's, your subscribers are coming.
Yes.
Yes. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a need for it. So
I'm feeling.
Yes. My next thing I want to get into with you is, what is the case? You said a little bit before, it's kind of like the conversation's coming organically now. What's the case that has stuck with you the most? I think it's always, or a few, or, you know, how do you process that? Like, anything that comes to mind?
I think all the cases really stick with me. Like, all the cases are kind of like, when I pick a case and I record it, that is a case that sticks with me. That's why I like talk about it. But
let's talk about that really quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What goes into picking a case? How do you fight? Because it's so many. How do you know, what is that process like?
Okay, so pretty much I search YouTube, I Google, and I also Google the known cases that I find, like on Instagram. Like I follow Our Black Girls, or I try to look up Black true crime podcasters. Yeah. I really try to figure, and what else? Black news, like a lot of just Black oriented, even BET. Sometimes BET be
they do. They do still. Yeah.
Yes. So I literally will search Instagram, Twitter. Sometimes my husband will send me cases because on Twitter there's a lot of unknown, like low profile cases that people don't know about. So he'll go ahead and send it over to me. Now the Marty McMillan case, girl, I remember this case from years ago. And I was sitting one day and I'm like, I want to do an online case to bring awareness. I'm like, what is that case? And I just started Googling, like, on cases that regarding online, online dating, and then I ended up finding his case. But that's how
it was interesting because usually it's women. On top of that, he was a black man, and the finesse and all that, it was dirt. That was a foul case.
And that's another thing. A lot of people don't talk enough about like women really being the savages here. Like it's always centered around like the men, but
all those like they have some of them on TV. Some of them are corny, but yeah,
girls, some women be crazy out here. I be trying to tell like these black men, look.
They do not be playing. But you also see that it's usually a trend, and I've seen this before. I don't know where I read it, that it's not a lot of black serial killers. A lot of our crimes are either like it's like domestic cases,
which is sad.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I get it, but I wanted to put that out there, y'all. That do say that black not necessary. They depicted on the news that a lot of obviously street crimes and things of that nature, but I'm like, still, when you really get into it, like let's look at the statistics. Like it's not a lot of.
When you really look into it, yeah, it's not.
Like the Atlanta child murders. I'm like, oh my god, that one was terrible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is there any like black serial? I mean, they exist, but
there was one. I think there was like one where he was, I think, an ex-police officer or an ex-military, and he just started going on a rampage.
I remember that.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I cover that next. I don't remember his name, but that was like
I'm gonna look it up.
Just 2 years ago. It wasn't long ago. I remember that.
He was going on a rampage. Like he was,
and it was not a lot of information. And I remember it just disappeared. I was in college because I was like, they just never stopped talking about it.
And then they pulled up on him, like the whole police department when they found him. They pulled up on him. I think just shot him.
Yep.
Yes, I don't remember his name. I was literally talking about this the other day with my aunt.
I don't either, but like when I hear it, it's gonna be like, yeah, I remember those cases. But it's like, why are there no in depth? All these people have a story. It's some true crime stories that I watch that are so like, I hate to say like underwhelming or like, it's kind of like, they made this into an episode. I'm like, they're just throwing people up now at this point. I don't know. From a watcher standpoint, I'll say it.
Right.
I'll say it. I'm just like, what Dateline episode was this? I'm like, well, this is
going on.
Typical, but I liked when you did the Merlin Santana case. A lot of people have seen his face, have heard of it before, but I don't know. When I was younger, you hear these cases, but now I'm 25 as well. Like we hear these things.
Yeah.
But, like, being able to like hear it, the setup, you even, propose the point, and I love how you do your live streams as well as, did she know better? Like, let's explore the minds of these people. Would they have made a better decision? And I think it is nice to give those different conversations too, because I don't know, it's the awareness.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, that's the reason why I covered it. Cause I'm like, okay, Merlin Santana was definitely, a very high-rated celebrity. I mean, everyone knows who he pretty much is.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I started doing like a little bit here and there celebrity cases. Like the last celebrity case I did was Lala Brown, and
Yolanda.
And her daughter actually commented and was just so very grateful, and she commented. I pinned it in the comment section, but yeah, she was very grateful, and she was like, thank you so much for praying at the end. And yeah, she was so that was just a good feeling for me. Like,
it's what speaks to our people. We pray. We're still fairly religious in the Black community.
Right.
We're us, and that's why I like that.
And pray at the same time.
I'll be there. Amen. I mean, it works. It speaks to the demographic of people, a crowd of people, which I am and I identify with.
It does.
Speaking of like, victims, I know people do those, reach out to victims' families and anything. Have you ever dabbled in that? I always felt like I would be like awkward or like, what do you say? Have you ever gotten into that yet?
Like reaching out and like to do it.
Yeah. Or do you ever feel like you need to do that to be polite, or like, what is it? Any type of manners in this, or like,
Yeah. I think that takes a lot of. I would have the family member message me on Instagram and let me know, hey, thank you so much, but I haven't gotten to that point where I want to interview family members. I actually do want to, but I think I'm still just waiting on trying to get the hang of even just uploading a case. precisely and getting all my information. But I do feel like sometimes it would be helpful, like after a case, if I can go on live with a family member so that they can share missing information that we didn't get, or, you know, I would love to actually do that. That's the goal for me. I would.
Yeah. Those unsolved cases, unsolved cases almost upset me so much that I almost skip past those. I'm like, oh,
it would get you upset.
I watched one of yours that you just posted. I'm not bad with names, but it's just like it's the awareness as well, like that people still need. So that's why I was interested, you know, that people reach out, people look it up, and it was cool that, you know, Yolanda's daughter even seen that, because it means a lot to people. And
it does. It makes me feel like, okay, I'm doing something. It's being noticed. It's being appreciated for. And also Brianna, what's her name? It's one of my older videos too. The tragic case of Brianna Johnson. She was found in her trunk. Her aunt actually messaged me as well. Fatima Johnson's daughter, he reached out, and so some family members definitely do reach out. They are watching. Yeah.
And that has to make, I don't know, it makes you feel good. It would make me feel good, you know, about my work, that I'm doing something. And I think, you know, comments are positive, people are supportive, but to hear from a family member, that's why, you know, or someone close to them and appreciate that, it makes it all the more for you want to keep going and to keep going. So what's next for you and your channel? I know you know you're not even a year in yet. But let us know, you know, what's next for you, anything else you have going on, anything you want to share, and then we'll get out of here.
I really just want to build up my channel. Like, really, I want to get it out there to the mass. Like, look, we have a platform where we can talk about Black and brown victims, and it's okay. You know, like, I really just want my channel to grow, and then I guess really, you know, creating things for Black people, like merch and things like that. Like, I'm really into that. I'm already looking into that too. So
and it's coming fast, girl. It's coming.
Thank you.
It's coming. So we're speaking that into existence.
Yes.
For you, because it is a need, and I cannot wait to continuously watch you grow and to be here. So y'all, make sure, and I know we're doing a pre-record now, but it will be tagged here, all of that. So make sure y'all go that way. We love true crime. We love all different conversations about our people. So make sure y'all go that way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Diva Dive number 4. We're back at it. Special thank you to my wonderful guest, Leya Nicole.
I will always remember this. This was literally my first interview. So, girl, you got a special place right here.
Oh, for sure. And you're not getting rid of me. I'm gonna be
Stay in touch.
Of course. And we gotta have you on our nightcap. I have a weekly panel, so we'll work it out so we can continue to laugh and all that stuff. Yes. So everybody, thank you for being here again. It is Welcometochynna. I am on my road to 1,500 subscribers, y'all. Hit that subscribe and follow me on Instagram, all that fun stuff. I will be here somewhere, but a very, very, very special guest to Miss Leya Nicole.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. We will see you next time, and bye-bye.
The paper, the one that they call a queen. Every radio around the world know me 'cause that's where I be.